So I got my dog here scratching her ear. Okay, now I'm back with you guys. So blessed rising, everybody. So welcome to an oh yeah. Oh, the link in the email is not working. Thank you, Brother Samuel, for letting us know that. Okay. I didn't acknowledge. I hope the one I sent, I just resent one this morning. I hope that one gets through. Um It's not present actually. Okay, well. Okay, so welcome to the OFC Weekly, where we get together on a weekly basis to network, to get to know each other, to build and to support each other in business and in life. Bonjour tout le monde, fait que bienvenue à notre OFC hebdomadaire où on se rencontre à chaque semaine pour s'encourager, se soutenir. Nos rencontres sont complètement bilingues, fait que s'il vous plaît, gênez-vous pas de vous exprimer dans la langue de votre choix. So guys, our sessions are completely bilingual, so please feel free to express yourself in the language of your choice. So what to expect for today? We always start off our sessions with a quick little motivational clip. This morning we watched a clip on what is competitive advantage, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. After that, we're going to do a round table where everyone is going to have an opportunity to introduce themselves, who they are, what they're doing, how we could be of support to them, or how they could support us. And that's an opportunity for us to exchange contacts and to network, to ask each other questions, just to get to know each other. And then we are going to close down the public segment and we're going to deep dive as members within the OFC and we're going to discuss strategy. We're going to discuss some internal competitive advantages that we have. But today I'm excited to discuss three cool new opportunities that we are finalizing and that we're setting up. So one of them being the OFC co-working space. So that's in collaboration with our affiliate HPay Labs. We're also going to be discussing the OFC HPay Discount Club, where members get 7% on things, 7% discount on things that we purchase every day, from Walmart to PlayStation to your phone top-ups. And we're also going to be discussing some new funding opportunities that are available through OFC partnerships in order to support businesses. And we actually have some funding, some potential funding available for individuals as well, depending on the circumstance. So we're going to deep dive into that. Fait que, encore tout le monde, on va prendre un peu de temps ce matin, juste discuter un peu c'est quoi les avantages compétitifs, qu'est-ce que ça veut dire et qu'est-ce que nous, on a en termes d'entreprise dans la communauté. Et on va faire notre tour de table. Tout le monde va avoir une opportunité de s'introduire, d'offrir de l'aide, faire du promotion pour votre entreprise ou votre organisation. Et offrir de l'aide si vous avez quoi que vous pouvez offrir à la communauté. Après ça, on ferme la section qui est publique et on va aller plus en profondeur en termes de membres de la communauté. On va parler de nos avantages et des nouveaux développements communautaires en termes on a un nouveau espace coworking, on a accès à un financement qui vient de un de nos membres et on a un nouveau club de rabais pour les membres de OFC. Fait qu'on va discuter un peu plus en profondeur. And as we're closing up, depending on how much time is left, guys, there's been a hot topic. For those who have applied for funding in the past, we are curious to know about your experience. So we'll talk a little bit about that. But if we don't have time, we're planning a whole other session to discuss that in more detail. So, we're not going to bog down too much time here within our OFC weeklies to talk about that. But if we do have time at the end, then we'll dive into it. So, guys, I'm going to reshare the video in the Discord group for those who missed the video that we watched this morning, but it's about competitive advantage. So first off, for those who were able to take it in this morning, what takeaways do you have from what we watched this morning in terms of competitive advantage? And for those who don't know, I'm going to list off the three competitive advantages that were identified in this video clip. I'm not sure if there's others that maybe people are aware of and weren't discussed. But number one competitive advantage is cost advantage. That's pretty straightforward. That's being able to offer your product or service lower than your competition. Simple. And usually that's because you're able to purchase more in bulk, and so that gives you that advantage over your competition. Next, it's your differentiation advantage. So that is where your product or service stands out. It's unique from your competitors. Sorry. So that gives you your next competitive advantage. Third is your network. And that is how you're able to leverage your network in order to give yourself a competitive advantage over your competition. So grouping businesses, different things like that. Finding ways that you can offer your clients a little something, a little bonus because of another relationship you have, et cetera, et cetera. These are the competitive advantages. So first off, from what we watched this morning, did we have any questions, comments, any reflections, anything that came to you guys after taking it in this morning?
Well, I always go back to the scene with Denzel with Blue Magic, to be able to to be able to offer something lower but still have high quality. And the key is it takes you actually going out and doing the research to get something that's premium quality but be able to charge less. And there's no way around that. So that's always the takeaway. If you want obviously we're not selling that, but if you want your version of Blue Magic. I'm not saying what you guys bought, but you know what I mean. If you
Yeah.
want your version of Blue Magic, you got to go to the source. I want to go to the source where they go get it, dig it out, and then push it out to the people. So that's always the takeaway when I hear stuff like that.
Very, very great, very, very great analogy. And for those who didn't watch that movie, it's American Gangster, American
Yeah,
Gangster.
American
Yeah,
Gangster.
American Gangster, great movie. You guys definitely check it out. But basically, long story short, Denzel became the top. Well, in this, it's not Denzel Washington himself, but obviously the character he was playing,
Hmm.
became the top of the drug game by going straight to source and and being able to get to get his drugs at the cheapest. Obviously, there's risks, a lot of risks, and there's a lot of things, but by the end of it, he was on top of it. A little funny thing is when I actually launched my record label in Montreal, we were inspired by that movie.
Yes.
And I actually and I didn't go to China, but I ordered all our discs and stuff straight from a supplier in China. We bought our own press machine to bring my cost of producing CDs down to 26 cents. So
Wow.
my costs and I was selling them at regular, $5, $10 a pop. So our profit margins were huge, which
Excellent,
enabled
man.
us to do a lot. But again, I was very much inspired by that movie.
There
So,
you go. There you
yeah,
go. So
that's,
you learned something with that.
I really did. I really, really did. So that is it. So very, very good example in terms of competitive advantage. And I'm curious to know for Adrian, one, I don't know if you had anything you want to add um, from the clip.
No, I mean a lot of it was aside from me because I don't really sell product, but it's the truth.
Mhm.
I respect that it was is the truth. The one that I guess more attained to me was the more about the networking, which is important.
Okay.
When OFC, leverage each other to help us to raise the bar for our businesses.
Well said. Thank you, brother. And actually, I'm glad you said that because that was my other thing. Because now, if you're not in a business where you're selling a product in that kind of sense, and a lot of us are in service, we do service and we offer different things like that. What is our competitive advantage? So I just want to take a quick moment. If we before actually, you know what? We'll do a two in one because we're a smaller group this morning. So we're gonna do a round table. But I also am curious to know what you see as your competitive advantage. Or if you don't see your a competitive advantage, and that's okay to say it as well, because then that's something we can work on when we get into our um segment, but it's something I want us to think about. Like, what we could consider our competitive advantage. And you know what, guys? As I'm saying this, we're gonna keep that. We're gonna do a roundtable, introduce ourselves, who we are, what we do, how we could support the community. Then when we get into our private session, let's discuss our competitive advantage. Let's do it like that. So we will start with our tool in the tab. We're gonna start off with our, oh, sorry, Brother Samuel, did you just raise your hand? Or was that a mistake? Go ahead.
No, actually, it was concerning the l'avantage competitive. I wanted to speak on that, but we've
Oh,
shifted. So we're gonna
yes,
respect
exactly. Okay,
the
yeah. Well, because I thought about it, I was like, wait a second. We don't want to share a competitive advantage publicly. It throws off our competitive advantage. So, so we'll network. We'll let people know who we are, what we do, how we can support them, give them an opportunity to connect with us, and then we're gonna close down this segment, and then we're gonna dive into what is our competitive advantages, and we'll go into our little workshop segment. So let's dive in. So, brother Adrian, the floor is yours. There you go. Pin
Grand,
spotlight.
sorry,
Yes, go ahead.
Grand Rising, bonjour, Ajuan in Quebec, that means good morning. My name is Adrian Duncan. I'm a Spirit Financial Insurance Broker, helping families, entrepreneurs, businesses to have a better understanding about how to leverage insurance for themselves, protect their businesses, protect their loved ones so that they'll be able to take care of their business free of mind and not worry about leaving a trail of debt and issues that may happen in the case of losing a second breadwinner in the household. One thing I would like to touch on as education that it was a good reminder for myself this week is the term for insurance called simplified issue. For those who are worried about, going to speak to an agent and worried about going to get a medical, there's insurances where you can get an insurance and you don't have to go through a medical um, um, uh, underwriting, as they call it, medical um, procedure in order to get insurance. So there are many different types of ways that we can be able to help um, clients and um, those who are looking for the kind of protection. So let me know how I'll be able to help. My phone number is 438-402-4607, 438-402-4607. And also you can email me at adrdunc@gmail.com. Always, LinkedIn is my friend and your friend. We can link up and be friends on LinkedIn. And I leave you that for today. Thank you.
Hey, amazing and within time, Brother Adrian. Thank you for that. I had a quick question.
Yes.
Hold on, let me add myself. Okay, great. When you say an insurance that you don't need to do a physical for or a medical, like, because, like, for example, we have some elders within the community, that it's hard for them to get insurance because they've had a stroke, for example.
Mhm.
Like, are you saying we have a solution for people like that? Because that is something I'm
Yes.
very interested in understanding. Like, and yeah.
Yes, exactly. There are insurances where you don't have to go through medical, and it might be a little bit higher in premium,
Mm-hmm.
but it goes directly through the procedure. You're able to get your insurance without a problem. There are quite a few insurance companies that offer this type of product.
Amazing. Okay, so you're a point person for that. So thank you so much. Okay, thank you for sharing that. If anybody have any other questions, okay, no, I think we are good to go. Brother Adrian, thank you. Next, Brother Aswan. Let me replace the pin. Uh, Replace pin. There you are. Floor is yours, brother.
Good morning, good morning. Aswan Crookshank here, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, former Division One college football player, and current six-time published author and educator. And what I do is I created this entire brand, this entire platform that's all about taking those same innovative teamwork lessons that you learned on the football field and applying them to businesses and business owners. So you have a staff and or a group of employees that moves like a championship high school or youth football team. And since we've started, I have created what you would call an assessment, a diagnosis. So I don't call myself necessarily a speaker anymore. I can officially start calling myself a doctor. All right. You do not have an employee retention problem. What you have is a performance problem. You have an issue with trying to get those mofos to perform. So what I've done is I've created an assessment to figure out specifically where your problems is in your organization. Sit down with me, we'll diagnose the issue, and I will cure you with this problem. Because we do live in an AI fuel world where everybody is just using technology to do whatever, the people development component of it is starting to be lost. So we're here to interject all of that. If you want more information on that, everything is available on makeyourmove.com. That's makeymove.com. One-stop shop for all your teamwork and your self-development needs. Just simply put your email in and you'll be a part of my list and we'll go from there. So
Amazing. Thank you. Within time. Always appreciate it. And a quick reminder, you guys remember to share your contact info in the chat. I will reshare it on our YouTube for those who might be watching online. But yes, please remember to share your contact info, and it helps it creates an opportunity for everybody in the meeting here for you guys to be able to network and connect with each other. I had a quick question. Let me add myself to your pin. What is the minimum size staff that you work with? Like, so if a company is thinking about connecting with you, like, is there a minimum, maximum?
Yeah, so that has actually changed. It was 20 or more. Now there's no minimum at this point because I am licensed with WFG. And actually, I just found this out this past Friday. There's a lot of things that we can do from an executive bonus standpoint, IUL, just certain things to protect your this key person's insurance that you can get. There's a lot of things that you get as a business owner that will protect your organization from, falling, God forbid, something happens to you. So I used to say 20 or more, but now there's no more minimum because I'm licensed now. So
That is amazing, and it's good because that was one of the things why I was asking because I we have some companies now who are actually downscaling because of AI, so
yes.
their teams aren't as big. So I was just wondering, like, in that case, if it's a small team, you're talking like 3 to 5 people, can they, or is this something for bigger corps? So good. So thank you for that clarification. And
Cool.
the assessment on the website, is it free to do the assessment? Is there a cost to do the assessment, or do we do the assessment for free?
Yeah, the assessment is free. Only thing I ask is that you join my email. Obviously, I'll email it to you, so you'll be on my list and you'll get, regular emails from me. So
Sweet. Okay, good. Thank you. Great added Val. I'm looking forward to deep diving a little bit more about you and your competitive advantages. All right. Next up, as I see him on my screen, Sister Allison, Grand Rising Queen. Nice having you with us. Hold on, replace your pin. Hey, there you go. And yeah.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, morning.
Good morning. So, I have an organization set up to help Black entrepreneurial women build, grow, and sustain their businesses. And that's really because of research that really supports why Black women are the fastest growing into the entrepreneurial world, but they're also the fastest growing out. And so, after spending at least a few years studying Black women and why we are not doing as well as others is because well, a lack of foundation and a lack of accessibility. So the Black Women Collective was set up to help Black women build, grow, and sustain their business through the 3 Cs, which was connection, community, and collaboration. And we focus on helping Black women understand the benefits of building foundation and then growing from there. And our center is really around community, around connection, and really understanding the ideas around that it's not that network is your best friend. The more you network, the more likely your business is going to grow. And we tend to work in silos. The Black women tend to have lots of other things that are going on in their lives, which stops them building out their business, taking the time they need in order to connect with the people that are going to help them build. So the Black Women Collective centers itself and wants to be the go-to in North America to really help women by stepping them into the areas of growth.
That the work that you're doing, sister, is exceptional. Hold on, let me add some hearts to that because that is huge. And actually, since we've connected, I have a list. I don't know how it's been going, but we've been sending introductions to you. I'm not sure if you had an opportunity to connect with any of the people just yet. I haven't had a chance to follow up with member services, but for what you're doing, like it's the goal. And when we get more into or talking privately, but our goal is to really leverage the network to introduce you to all the women that we have within the collective. Because if we could create this powerful ecosystem of strong, empowered, and supported women, I feel it will make a huge change for where we're going and what we're trying to do as a community in general. So, have you had an opportunity to connect with any of the referrals yet?
Yeah, I've definitely sent out emails inviting for connection. I'm just waiting for people to come back to me.
Perfect, good. And within the OFC how we work. Once you send that out, if you don't hear anything back, you please let us know. Well, member services are gonna follow up anyways, but it's like if you don't hear back, like give it a week, 2 max, but 2 is a very long time. If within a week you don't hear anything back, please let member services know because then we'll follow up as well. All right. Good stuff. Awesome. Let's keep moving. Brother Samuel, bonjour, frère. Welcome, my brother. Replace Ben.
Bonjour frère Aibobo. Bonjour,
Hey, Bobo.
Aibobo. Bonjour tout le monde. Hi everybody. I'm gonna try to be really short and really be really concise. I used to work in the business development ecosystem. I left it. Back then I used to be able to see many possibilities based on many business models that I see that were not necessarily prevalent within our communities. So in the last 5 years, I've worked on an ecosystem that I call the HIA ecosystem that has a high AI component, but is more aligned to ancestral metaphysics of understanding how we can do business. So on this, I'm developing certain metrics. I'm going to try to be really concise. The first one is highly attuned content. So I've developed an epistemological filter so that when we take in knowledge, news from outside of the world, it can be filtered and realigned for our paradigm so that we can start developing high content on massive scale for our community. The second one is financial architecture. Because when I was working there, I used to see that there's so many ways that we can finance and play on certain metrics, but you have to come with the right data and the right structure to be able to shift that. So that's the second component of my ecosystem. The third component is real estate. We use the tactic of bird dog to create cross national investment from the state, from Canada, and you use that to then reinvest in other metric. And the last part is optimize network. I'm going to take this 15 seconds more. Optimize network, because me networking a lot, I've realized usually the problem is not having the right network, it's milking it the right way, because I can see there's so many things that are established in every network that are so underused that it doesn't make any sense to go look for more things. So I'm trying to build into the network a networking things that let's say we can strip the transcript from this session, from what are the actionable action based on our collective network possibilities, what are the things that we, and then with AI you can start to map the corridor of that and map collectively align ventures. So let's say even we're four, we're not necessarily on the same thing, but the ways to interconnect our ventures and make them advance in a coherent and aligned manner, which can be financed. So this is the elements of my AI ecosystem, and I share some of the content production within the chat box. So that's what I'm working on the moment.
Wow, 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 brother, that is huge. And brother Adrian, I see your hand. I'll let you just talk in a second. What stood out to me just on what you're saying is how to maximize the use of the networks, because a lot and we the reason this speaks so much to me is because we go through it within the OFC. We offer tons of support, tons of services, but we see that the members aren't leveraging it, aren't using it to its capacity. And so now we're investing resources to be able to help the members to use the resources. It's such a crazy thing, but but how do, and so that is something I'm really interested in deep diving with you a little bit more in terms of, leveraging the work that you're doing there, because again, this is the whole power of an ecosystem, power of a network, because you're studying it. That is one of our challenges. So there's huge synergies there in terms of how we can make it work.
Actually, the only way I can imagine this and come up with solution is real case scenario. I've been an OFC member for like, what, 10 years. I've seen certain of the cycle. I've seen a lot of the metric that happen, and I also see a lot of the solutions that are already present but are not used. So when I see all of that, it becomes easier for me to frame and map interconnective realignment, because this is what's missing. The rest is not really missing from what I'm saying,
That's so exciting, my brother. Thank you for that. Brother Adrian, I see you had your hand up. You have a question?
Yes, for Brother
Hamid?
Samuel. Brother, the information is awesome, but what exactly is the service for the community that you offer from all the knowledge that you have?
I have a 30-year plan, so it's gonna be really hard for me to deconstruct it. But if I take your specific example, I used to work a little bit in insurance, and insurance can be used to finance many things. They can be used to be work as a bank, and people will not necessarily see it like that. If somebody tells me, well, you know what, you don't necessarily have to go through all this process to get your insurance, people might be thinking, okay, but when it's going to be time to get paid, is there going to be any problem? That's not really the problem, because if you can use your insurance before that as an investment vehicle, then the concept of you having to use the money that's inside of it for you after that loses meaning. So as soon as you can start to see things in this fashion, so the network in the OFC can start to see, oh wow, if I can see this member, if I go see Adrian Duncan and I take this insurance with this mindset, I know that in 5 years I can have such and such amount. When I have such and such amount, I can use a prêt levier, which then that turns my 100K in let's say 500K, and then I can use this for specific investment, and I don't need no bank, no nothing. But I need to understand that this guy selling insurance is selling way more than insurance. He's selling me something that is already online, and we have all the resources within the OFC network to put in place this in motion on a large scale for our members. So as soon as people have this mindset, this is the way that my business model works. The specific like technical metric still needs to be put in place, but the mindset is that if I can see what you do, if I can understand what's behind what you do, and I can vulgarize this to the other members in the way that they can put actionable action on it, then I've created wealth into the circle, and this wealth is going to come back in a way or another. So I don't even have to worry about the money for now. That's the mindset that I'm trying to stick to.
Appreciate you. Thank you, brother.
I love that. Thank you so much. And all right, so now I will hold on, remove this pin. I will pin myself, give myself my 90 seconds. Timer. There you go. Greetings, everybody. Pharaoh Hamid-Freeman, founder and director of the One Full Circle OFC Community Network. What we are here for and what we do is really focus on being a community, bridging the gap between individuals, businesses, and organizations, bringing like-minded people together in order for us to do what we do right now, strategize, work together, but most importantly, for us to be able to build a solid economic foundation for our future generations. So the people who come together within the OFC are usually people who see the value in long-term thinking, who see the value in building not for themselves, but they want to build for others. And they see the power in the collective, right? They see the value in working together. What's that saying? If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, we go together. And that is so people who join the OFC who resonate with the OFC are people who share that vision and those values. We have tons of different services and products that we offer, but our main strength is being able to serve as a huge connector. When you join the OFC, you make a minimum, as an affiliate, you receive up to 50 connections throughout the year, so you get up to 50 leads in the year. As businesses, it's up to 24 leads in the year, and when you join as an individual, you get 12 leads, or you meet up with 12 different people. But in addition to those connections, we're here to offer you support overall. So we're glad to be able to do that. We're glad to be able to be here. And if you know anybody who could benefit from the community, please send them our way. 514-651-4545. All right. That is the OFC spiel in a nutshell. So now I'm excited because we spoke so many gems. And actually, even before I close up this segment, I do have to give a shout out to Brother Samuel because you just said something that I tried to get people to understand. Some of the people who are currently dominating the planet, they have strategic plans that are a century old. They have plans that they've mapped out over generations. They have plans that they put out knowing that they're not going to be able to finish it, but they're setting it up in a way to give the succession on to the next person, la relève, so to speak, to be able to continue. And it's unfortunate when you speak to people who have these short-sighted visions and they're trying to rush something and make it happen in 6 months. And it's like, how? How are you planning on creating something that's going to have a global impact or substantial change within such a short period of time? I just don't see how that's even realistic. So sometimes, depending on what a person is trying to get done, if they have not put the thought process in, or at least giving themselves the time that it takes to build it up properly, that's one of the things I address first. Because it's like if you're trying to do something tangible, something realistic, and your plan is that I want to see if I can get this done in 4 months, I'm going to tell you right away, I'm not going to waste the time trying to make that happen. Like it's not going to work. It's not going to be, it cannot work unless you tell me I've been working on this for 10 years and now this is where I'm at and I think I have a couple of months left, then I'll take it. I'll listen to what you're saying because you've been putting in the groundwork. You've put in the time necessary. So Brother Samuel, I commend you for saying that you have a plan that's a 30-year vision, because that's how you really impact sustainable change and you really put something in place to impact the future. So thank you for that. All right. So beautiful people who have been watching or who watch on YouTube after the fact, thank you guys for joining us. We're shutting down this segment so we could deep dive as members. Again, I invite you guys all, for those who want to deep dive and continue to work and get some additional support from the OFC, I invite you to join. But for now, we are closing this segment up and then we're going to dive into our personal segments. All right.